Hello, everyone. Let's talk about the 4 books that I would like to read that take place in the state of Arizona. Okay, I know it's been a while since I've done this. I think I've done 4. Yeah, 4 so far. 2 in 2 states and 2 in 2 countries. And then I've just had a rough time with my autism and then being sick and just with like the flu and then just kind of like in a mental slump, not wanting to film or anything. So I'm very happy to get back to this. So I was going to do like at least 5. I think I'm just going to do at least 4 from here on out. If I can find 5, if they'll fit on a piece of paper where I'm taking notes, great. But I think at least 4, and that way I don't know. I feel so overwhelmed with trying to make sure I find that. I think 4 is 5 is fine. If I can find 5, great. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's just get into this. There are 4 books that I found that take place, at least in some part, in Arizona. So, and hopefully the majority, or there's plenty of references to Arizona, but you'll kind of see what I mean as we go on. I am going to start this out just as a reminder. I have not read these books, so these are books I cannot say these are good, I recommend them to read, or these are bad and I recommend you avoid them. I can't say one way or the other because I have not read them. This series that I'm doing where I mention books that take place in particular states and countries are books that I find that, again, that take place in specific books or countries that I find intriguing, that I want to read at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. So that's kind of what it is. It's like, hey, these are my books that I want to read. I don't necessarily own any of them. One of them I do, that I will mention later. And I think in this one, I do actually own. I have not read it, but the other 3 I don't own. So at some point I'll either find them on a really good sale or check them out from the library type of a thing. But these are books that I would like to get to at some point. Book number 1 is The Bean Trees. This is a series, and there are 2 books in this particular series. This is written by Barbara Kingsolver. The series is called I'm guessing it's pronounced Greer family. So, anyway, this is an adult and it's a contemporary classic. So I've just got some notes here on my notebook about some points because I just have trouble I think giving synopsises about books. But this one follows Taylor. Now, even though this is a video about books that take place in Arizona, in this particular book, Taylor grew up in Kentucky. But then she heads to Arizona. So at some point she will be heading to Arizona. And it says that along the way, she ends up with a 3-year-old American Indian child named Turtle. And so it's following her as she navigates suddenly becoming a mother and just navigates her life and what she wants and where she wants to go and things like that. So kind of I don't really want to say coming of age because she is already an adult, but she's coming more into herself, into her own personality while she's having to care for a 3-year-old child. So there you go. I mean, that's really the best synopsis I can give for it. Yeah. Okay, so number 2. This is the one I actually own, and it is These Is My Words by Nancy E. Turner. This is going to be written in diary format, which I can tell just from flipping through the pages. Plus, it also says The Diary of Sarah Agnes Prine from 1881 to 1901. Arizona Territories, and it is a novel. This is fiction. It's an adult. This was the winner Arizona Author Award and finalist for the Willa Cather Literary Award. So it does have that non-removable sticker there. I got this. I don't even remember when I got this. But I think I remember going to the bookstore with my mom. I do. And yes, this is the one that we had signed. So it does say, for Christine, keep your eyes on the horizon, Nancy E. Turner. Oh, it says the date right there, June 4th, 2005. So it's been a while and I have yet to read it. I've never unhauled it because I still want to read it, and it has a special memory where my mom and I went to Barnes & Noble and had the book signed. So there's that little bit of an attachment because I do remember that. But it's like the very first book I've ever had personalized. So it's signed, so anyway, so I've just never unhauled it, but I still do really want to read this, and I want to make this more of a priority. So, this doesn't have anything on the back. It just has quotes from various people, whether they're publishers or, like the Dallas Morning News, and then other people and things like that. Let's see. It's got a map of Arizona and New Mexico in it, which is pretty cool. So, yes, so these are my words. Arizona territories, 1881 to 1901. So I'm trying to see if... So it's historical fiction, an adult. Basically, from what I could find on this, because there's no synopsis on the back, it records the steps down the path of childhood to motherhood, and that includes moments that are turbulent, joyous, as well as tragic events. So all through diary entry, journal entry, and I think that will be very interesting. So I definitely want to get to this soon. Okay, number 3, 24 Hours in Nowhere by Dusty Bowling. Now, this one I can say takes place in Arizona because it stated on the synopsis I read that it takes place in Nowhere, Arizona. So now I don't know if that's a fictional place or not, or if it's a fictional story that takes place in a real location. I don't know. That I couldn't tell you. I haven't researched into that. And I really don't care. It's a book. It is nonfiction, and this one is a middle grade. So this one we're following 13-year-old Gus, and Gus tends to get bullied by Bo. Well, one day, what is her name? I've got it written down. Rossi decides to help Gus and intervene between Gus and Bo, but in order to do so, she ends up giving up her prized dirt bike. So she's helped him. She becomes a friend for Gus. And then Rossi and Gus and another one of Gus's friends go on this trip in Nowhere, Arizona, because Gus wants to try to get Rossi's dust bike back for her. And he's very grateful for her. So that's pretty much it. It's an adventure book, and it's middle grade. And I think it sounds cute, and I look forward to getting to that at some point. Okay, so the last book I'm going to talk about is called Vanishing Acts by Jodi Picoult. This is an adult, and it's considered chick lit. Now, this one is one that I'm a little confused because when I was researching what books take place in Arizona, it didn't really mention that this one takes place in Arizona, but it did come up that it takes place in Arizona. So that's all I'm going off of. And I don't even recall where it said, but it was, I think, I may be wrong. It might be in the South, but I could be confusing that with another book that I looked at. Anyway, Vanishing Acts by Jodi Picoult. Again, it's adult and chick lit. So this one we're following Delia. I don't know. I'm guessing Delia. Delia grew up with a charmed life, or so she thinks. All of a sudden, this police officer shows up and reveals this huge bombshell of a secret. And she's thinking things that she may have thought aren't what they seemed. Also, on top of that, she's having flashbacks of her life, but they're not the flashbacks that she remembers and recalls actually having occurred during her life. I hope that makes sense. So things are kind of unraveling. So I think at some point, maybe in her past, she was in Arizona, but at some point it should take place in Arizona. But that's pretty much all I know about that one as well. These are books I've never heard of. These are all debut authors for me as well. And I just hope to get to these soon. So those are the 4 books that I wanted to mention that take place in Arizona, at least in part at some point during the book. And that I have not read that I do want to get to. So I hope you enjoyed. If you know of any books that you liked that took place in Arizona, or that you are anticipating that take place in Arizona, definitely let me know in the comments below so I can check into it and maybe add that to my list of books that I want to read that take place in Arizona. I know there are a lot, and so I can't add them all, but if it sounds intriguing enough, just definitely let me know if there's one that you particularly enjoyed or are particularly looking forward to. So I hope you enjoyed. In the description box, you will find all the information to my social media. So Instagram, both of my Instagrams, I do have 2. I have a personal one that I have public that I'll just post whatever I want, pages I color, pictures with family, pictures of my cat and stuff, or my Bookstagram where it's books. So yeah. Also my Twitter and Goodreads if you want to be friend on any of those platforms as well. So until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.